Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about an independent game developer who pushed back against the outrage mob on social media. They tried to cancel him and his game because he doesn't have same-sex marriage in the game.
Okay.
Or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is ridiculous.
Is it necessary for the game?
No.
Is it a game about marriage?
No, you can get married, but it's not about marriage, as far as I know. So
okay, well,
yeah, we're gonna talk about this because you know, I guess I would tell you that if the game offends you, don't buy the game. Maybe it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Like this.
Please don't buy the game. It makes it more fun for everybody else.
Yeah, right. So he actually pushed back, and look, things are changing. We've been talking about this a lot lately with, you know, all the DEI pushback, and I think even cancel culture. I don't think it's working as well as it used to work. I think people are wise to it. I think they're starting.
Right? Yeah. I got how many years you can be called a bigot if you don't agree, and then you're like, nah.
Yeah. Then the goalpost keeps moving, right? But gaming, tabletop gaming, and video gaming, that was kind of, you know, ground zero for a lot of this this kind of stuff, and it's definitely changing. And we're seeing exactly how large the audience is for these diverse and inclusive games, you know, like Conquered and Dustborn. They're not very big. So why should, again, this is an independent game developer. Why should an independent game developer have to kowtow to a handful of people on social media that are angry because you can't have gay marriage in the game? He's not speaking out against it, as far as I know. It's just like, this is the way the game is. It is what it is. How many other games? I'm sitting there thinking like, yeah, when I was a kid, we had Phantasy Star 3, and a big plot point of Phantasy Star 3 was you got to choose who you married twice in the game, and it would determine which ending you got. And they're all basically the same. But yeah, and there was no option to marry your male friend. Sorry. You know, let's cancel Sega for a 30-year-old game. Let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
So yeah, I'm a little late to the party on this one. This is on Bounding in the Comics. I guess the game is called Soulash 2. The dev stands by his decision to not include same-sex marriage for gameplay reasons. I showed my teeth. The oppressive people left, and now we can continue to have fun in peace.
Good.
Remember when that one farm sim dev got canceled by Alyssa Mercanti because the boobs were bouncing?
Yeah.
And he was making jokes about the boobs bouncing.
Well, to like boobs.
He said, despite a wave of bigotry, accusations, and cancellation attempts, indie. This is an indie. This isn't like a major studio,
it's
right?
not like a AAA studio, AAA game. So, you know.
So it'll probably sell better than you know, the other games.
Right.
Indie video game developers at Artur, wow, I can't pronounce his last name. Murowski is refusing to budge on his gameplay-based decision to refrain from adding a same-sex marriage mechanic to Soulash 2. Why do you have to? I mean, you're not speaking out against gay marriage. You're not telling people that in the real world, they can't marry somebody of the same gender. You're saying just in this particular game, it's not an option.
So this was a sequel to the first one, obviously. Yeah.
They said it's a sandbox RPG roguelike with a procedurally generated open world, simulated history, skill-based progression system, customizable abilities, material-based crafting, building, trading.
That sounds something you'd like.
Yeah, it does, actually. And the possibility of total mayhem. So the release is set for sometime around March 2025. The game is currently available in early access, and the developer continually provided new gameplay updates. To this end, on August 15th, the solo dev, this is one guy's game. One guy's game.
Yeah. And how many people complain about it actually played it?
They're not going to play it. They're just like, oh my God, why don't you have pronouns? Oh my God, because those people are so used to being catered to, and they don't buy the games. This is why there's so many layoffs in AAA gaming, because we're finding out they don't buy the games. They never buy the games. Yeah, he said that he released the version 8.6 update for Soulash 2, which saw him moving to introduce one of the game's most requested features, the ability to start a family. Okay, so we're talking about an open world simulator. This looks like it's medieval fantasy world. You're starting a family. Back in the day, back in the day, and I'm talking just like 100 years ago, like if you wanted to do that and you wanted to farm and you wanted to do all the farmer, start a family, yeah. Gay marriage and adoption, that wasn't a thing. I mean, it
probably was. It just wasn't like the norm.
I have the first 2 parts of the family feature where you can start your new family in your settlement, marry someone to move to your town and family, and have children with them. Now, this is something that the early Harvest Moon games did too, right? By having your own family, you can also start working at your building as another way to generate wealth, train your potential, or just progress the world by a couple of years while ensuring your legacy lives on after your inevitable doom. Following the announcement, he was pressed. Hey, thank you for your hard work. I'm a queer fan of your game, and I wanted to ask if same-sex relationships would be possible in future updates.
Well, I'm sure the person who asked first probably was a fan of the game, because why else would they ask? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because this game isn't like a huge release, right? So, and that's probably true. But then what will happen is the response is going to be dragged to like the Resetera forums or Reddit or something, and then they're all going to dogpile. He said, I know other devs like the ones who made the Medieval Dynasty said they considered it too late to put it into the game. I just wanted to see if it was something on your radar, or if it would be safe for you to implement in the future. Yeah, he's actually nice about it.
No, he's been really nice. That's why I think, I don't think this person is the cause of it. Like,
No.
I don't think so. I think they're a legitimate fan of the game just asking a question.
He said, thank you for your time and dedication to this game and this community. So that actually is a very polite response. He's not like, I demand it. Well,
and clearly this person's a fan. Now, I think other people that had a fit later were not.
Yes. He said, unfortunately, he said the main purpose, he didn't say unfortunately. They said I'm bounding in the comics. So the main purpose of the family system is to create a legacy through children, and given our limited ways to interact with NPCs, I don't think there's a good way to represent relationships, so I don't plan to expand it. So basically, right now. He said more extended interactions. Okay, so he's not saying he wasn't going to do it. He said it's hard to do with the game being the way it is right now. He said more extended interactions were something some players wished was a bigger focus of the game. Unfortunately, it would take a long time, and probably the removal of the conversations and dialogue systems to turn it into The Sims, as well as the other games I'm already trying to mix. We're going to have to see if I ever get excited about it, but right now I'm too pumped to go to war. So basically, this is more about war and world building and not a dating sim.
Which is a fair answer.
That was a fair answer. Unsurprisingly, following this news from the developer, the thread related to the game's new update soon devolved into a back and forth between individuals who demanded that same-sex marriage mechanics be added no matter what, and those who believe said critics should instead respect the devs' creative decisions regardless.
So it was a fight.
Yeah. Oh my God, on the internet?
I know, right?
What? Things would continue to devolve on the game's community page when a week later, he released a new patch, therein finalizing the family system without same-sex options. Yes, a week later. Yes, in a week, he decided to just scrap everything. You know what? I'm not going to release this game until we have representation. Because that, you know, I'm saying, like, I'm just not going to release it. And
then the cat, I guess they were still pissed about it.
Yeah.
So he had to go to Twitter and make comments because he's like,
oh my God. So this guy's Polish, right?
Right.
So listen to what he says on Twitter. He said, how many people would you piss off if you made a game how you truly want to? Let players inspire you, not demand how you express yourself. No boss, no publisher, no fucks given about reviews. That's art, right? Then he says, again, remember, he's from Poland. My grandparents survived the Nazis.
The real ones, not the ones, what they call him an alt-right Nazi for not putting, did they really?
Yeah, I think they were trying to call him a Nazi. Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
I'm sure they did. It always goes that direction, right? My grandparents survived the Nazis. My parents endured communism. I had to live through religious oppression since the age of 10. And now some spoiled brats think I'll bend my knee to their rainbow flag or else they'll type some words. Ooh. Damn. I already have a flag I'm proud of. Wow.
Wow. Heroes wear capes.
Yeah. So here we have another person. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, right?
I don't think you understand that you sound like an alt-right Yahtzee. Is that basically what they're saying?
Yeah.
I know this is don't harass anybody, but I don't believe that it was meant to come across this way. But the way you phrase this tweet is the same rhetoric that far right people in the U.S. tend to talk.
He wouldn't have gotten to that point if he had not been harassed to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at the initial interaction, and it's pretty considerate, right? I mean, on both sides, it was a pretty considerate interaction, and then these people. And they almost always have furry or anime avatars. These people pushed them too far. And this is what happens. A lot, you start out with like, oh yeah, hey, here's a simple explanation for whatever. No big deal. Well, you clearly hate gay people. Yeah. You clearly hate black people.
Comparing queer people wanting representation of Nazis and communists, I'm sure he got compared to that first. Common tactic of people who actively want to take the rights away. I don't usually call queer people Nazis or communists, actually, but I don't want to take the rights away either. So I don't believe that this is what you want, but I see a lot of people getting angry at this tweet. I thought I should offer an explanation why this is. I appreciate everything that you do. You're a genuine inspiration to me as a fellow game developer. I think the hate campaign towards you was way too much, but I also think this was way too much. Is it too much?
I love this though. This is what people don't understand. They always distill it down to whatever's going on in the US. Yeah, pretty much. He's not from the US. And so many of these game devs that are pushing back are not from the US. They don't give a shit about your feelings. He said, thanks for the explanation. I don't follow US politics, nor do I care for what you guys call yourself to inflict anger. For us in Poland, Nazis and communism have an actual deep meaning because our people live through it.
Yeah, we're talking like the real ones, not the kind that you just throw that name around to anybody who doesn't agree with you because they didn't do what you wanted.
He said, I also didn't compare this group to Nazis.
He didn't.
No, if anything, I said they are nothing in comparison by belittling their attempt at oppression. I did use a clear hyperbole by calling them spoiled brats. That's what they are. They're used to being catered to. And then they complain that, like, all the chuds are used to being catered to. And then you canceled the acolyte and you just gave them more of what they wanted. Literal Nazis. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Oh, this same person.
Yes, they never can stop. They never stop. Like, I had bad faith interactions with these people, and until you mute them, they just keep going and going and going. But what about what? And it's like, yeah, shut up. Shut the hell up. I just want to be sure this isn't about gay people, but instead about people engaging in this harassment. Anyone from a group can be shitty and toxic, but they're.
Let me guess. This person's gay and they're personally offended.
Yes. Yep.
Are they gay? I don't know. I'm just saying.
He said, yeah, this is about a group that imposes themselves on developers to change their games. It's not about people who just want to live their lives in peace like me.
Yeah.
And that's true.
That is true.
These people want to attack anyone who doesn't put pronouns in games, or they won't, they won't capitulate and go with body type A, body type B.
I'm just making a fun game. But also, he's a single developer. You have to understand, just because you want this change doesn't mean that something that can be either done in the system, could be done in a time frame that's fair, or it's something that, he wants to spend time on because it's going to take him so long to do that when he could be making good gameplay for everyone. Sorry, yeah. That is, it's a reality situation.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was even like malicious in intent.
No, it wasn't. Actually, that initial interaction was pretty pleasant.
Yeah, I thought so.
I mean, I understand if the person asking the question is gay and was like, hey, just, are you gonna have
them build? I don't think we're upset about it.
No, and they were very polite in how they asked, and this is how things used to be. And now, if there's any whiff of, and they're going after indie game devs because they pretty much have destroyed the AAA gaming space, right? These kinds of people, I'm not talking gay people, I'm talking mentally ill control freaks, have infiltrated AAA gaming, and they've rotted it out from the insides. Now they're going around trying to police independent developers too. This is one guy. This isn't even a studio.
And
this
he didn't say no.
He
said right now I can't.
He said I can't do it. Honestly, at this point, he's going to be less inclined to do it
because of people like that other person. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say for creators, you just stick to your guns. If you're not doing anything egregious, it doesn't matter what a handful of people on social media think, especially when it comes to sales, because we are starting to see the truth. And the truth is Hogwarts Legacy was the highest selling game of 2023. Regardless of all the whining on Twitter, it was the highest selling game of 2023. Conquered was a massive failure. $200 million lost from this game. Suicide Squad, massive failure. $200 million lost from this game. These people do not matter. This is why they're getting laid off, because I think developers are like, yeah, you know what? We're not going to make any money doing these kinds of games. We're just going to say, hey, it's the economy and call it a day. So here's kind of how he finished it. He said, I just woke up. Lightning didn't hit me. I don't feel canceled at all. Most people, I don't think, do now. I think it's definitely ending.
If actually there's anything else that probably increased people buying the game or downloading the game.
This has happened before, and I think that kind of happened with Hogwarts Legacy. After all, it looks like there's nothing to fear from the oppressive mob. Thank you to everyone who went past a single tweet and offered their support and understanding. And this is what he said.
About what originally happened. Yeah.
He said, I've heard people falsely claim I intentionally hard-coded a way not to have gay marriage
or mods. That's not what he said at all.
No. He said, as a custom engine, modding is only configuration-based. That means there's no way to develop new mechanics or change the simulation through mods. But we have friendly in-game editors that can help add custom content from players who don't code. So he's not saying it's not going to happen. He's just saying...
Wait, were they review bombing him because he wasn't what they wanted?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought if you review bomb, that means you're alt-right Yahtzees.
Okay, so the cavalry has arrived. I will keep that review bomb as a badge of honor, hoping it will encourage more developers to resist mob pressure and focus on developing the best games they can according to their design goals. To
their design goals, to their vision, to what they want. It's your game. Do what you want. If you want to make it, inclusive for this or that or whatever, and you want to spend the extra time doing it, cool. More power to you. If you don't, cool. More power to you.
Yeah, this is not working like it used to, is it? It's actually having the opposite effect. I mean, if these people are trying to get devs canceled or get celebrities canceled or whatever, a lot of times they get more support because of it, because everybody's sick of this shit. And a lot of times people that weren't political get pushed into it because of this shit.
Yep.
I think J.K. Rowling, I don't think she would be incessantly tweeting every day, but she got pushed into this shit, right? She said one or two things. They tried to cancel her, and she's like, fuck you. I'm J.K. Rowling. I'm a billionaire. I can say what I want. Now it's her entire personality, but I digress. She still sold 25 million copies of Hogwarts Legacy, regardless of the pushback. So we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.